We are Maria
and Nicole. We're two secular homeschooling moms that have
been there, done that. We talk all the time about the importance of reading. Just last week, we shared our favorite middle school chapter books as a sequel to an earlier episode when we shared early elementary favorites when you have a brand new reader. We've had a lot of homeschoolers reach out to us asking for book selections that they can read, so we decided to create an entire episode to share our absolute top 10 favorite book recommendations that every homeschool parent should read.
And as usual, we want to stress that our podcast is an inclusive space for your everyday parents that are looking for education options. We are not here to convince you to homeschool. We want to stress that you need to do what works for your child and for your family.
Every family's different.
Absolutely. And you know your children best. So feel free to take what advice or information you get from here that works for you and chuck the rest.
Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Maria. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm so glad that you're here. We are almost ready for Monday's school start. How about you guys?
We're not starting this Monday, but the next Monday. I've got a lot to do because I'm getting Jane up to college into her first apartment, and then I got to jet back and get Jillian started for her first day at Dallas College.
Oh my gosh! So she's doing dual enrollment for the first time.
Yeah,
Is she excited?
Oh, she's so excited about it. We're gonna go get her ID today, I think. So
yeah, we're stepping up the one class a semester to 3.
Dang.
Yes. Yeah, Cameron's doing 3 classes at the college, and then also, we outsource math. He's doing algebra 2.
Yeah.
So what about Jillian?
Oh, that's fun. Jillian is also doing 3, but just 2 at a time. Like one of those is, or 2 of those are 8-week classes. So, 8 weeks here and then 8 weeks
that's
after.
Intense.
Well, one of them's that foundations class, which I'm hoping is going to be kind of just an easy breezy.
They started requiring that I kind of wish that they did that with Riley because it's almost like a study skills course, kind of like teaching you how to college.
I know. They said technically she was waived for it, but I thought it sounded like a good one to do, and she was excited to do it. So
yeah, they have a lot of good professors that teach that class.
Yeah, she's super excited, and I think it'll be great. We're going to be on campus 4 days a week. And
wow.
And then she's also doing science outsourced at Dr. Reed's. So
yeah, so I've been working really hard to kind of put together this blueprint of making sure that he manages his own time, but me managing him manage.
I know. It's like hard, and a few extra days a week would be handy.
Yeah.
I spent the whole day the other day just like making my new schedule, or like kind of my fall, and combining, of course, all my kids' breaks and everything like that. And we joined this new local homeschool group. I know you're on it as well.
Yeah.
But is the group leader amazing? She's got like field trips planned out for like the next year.
She really is pretty great. As a matter of fact, I think Cameron's going to be doing volunteer work, like maybe teaching. He doesn't know this yet. I'm going to break it to him next week whenever we start school. But his volunteer opportunity this year is going to be teaching group lessons to younger students. Now, he already teaches it for money. Yeah. But he does need volunteer hours, and I thought this would be a great way for him to showcase this on his transcript also. So.
Oh, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
No, I'm so, like, I love, we've talked about this on the show before, that if there's not a group or a thing, for you in your community, start one. And that's what these gals did. Like, they saw a need for a very specific group, and they jumped in and they created it. And it's awesome. Like, if you build it, they will come.
I think there's
super
like
fast.
300 people, 300 families already on there.
I know. It's awesome. So I'm really going to try and get to some of their events and, try and support them there. Super excited to have that.
Right. I'm really excited for them. I kind of wish my kids were a little younger and they'd be more apt to, participate. But now they're off running on, doing their own thing.
They got their own stuff. But, those were the good old days, right?
I know. We only have a couple years left, so, yeah.
Which leads us to our topic today. So, whether you've just started or you're thinking about starting to homeschool, or maybe you are like us and you've homeschooled for many years already, there's a lot of value in reading books about homeschooling.
Yeah, I have a couple favorite books that I often reread every year just to get re-inspired and motivated for the upcoming school year. I love to do that.
Oh, me too. Me too. I feel like it really helps ground me. It gets me back in that school mood, even though we kind of school year round. I've talked about liking to ride that high, in fall with the back to schoolers. And I often have several books going at a time anyway. Like, I like to have a fiction book. I usually have a historical fiction that kind of goes along with whatever time period I'm teaching, and then a nonfiction book. And a lot of times that's a homeschool book.
Yeah. Also, since we've been doing this podcast, every week we do a favorite book Friday on our social media posts. Oftentimes, these books have something to do with the current episode that we did that week. But if it's even a topic that we know a lot about, we like to stay current, keep a fresh list of books that we've read ourselves because we love reading, and also so that we can share them with you.
Right. I always feel a little bit weird about sharing a book I personally have not read. So I really do try and read like all of these before I suggest them. Or I will post books that, a lot of my friends have recommended because I trust their opinion on it too, even if I haven't gotten to that book just yet. But the list we're going to present today is a combo of some of our personal favorites and books that seem to frequent everybody's top 10 lists.
Right. There's so many reasons to read and continue reading homeschooling books. For one, it can really help you to understand all the different homeschooling methods out there. Homeschooling approaches vary widely from traditional to unschooling. There's Montessori, Charlotte Mason, and more. Books can provide insight into different methods, helping parents to identify the one that aligns with their values, their teaching style, and their child's learning needs. I know personally for me, over the last 20 years, my homeschool style has changed a lot from when I started. And just like parenting, I have evolved and grown, and I've always tried to keep an open mind to new ideas and methods as my children's learning needs have changed.
Oh, yeah, you have to. You
Yeah.
have to. We talk about that a lot here, too, about adaptability and, being open-minded, about changing things up when they don't work anymore. We talked in our Getting Started page and in our Choosing Curriculum episodes about how knowing your homeschool method or style is really going to help you narrow down curriculum choices. And there's so many great books that offer recommendations for curriculum and teaching materials and resources out there.
Yeah, homeschooling involves careful planning and organization to ensure a well-rounded education. There are a lot of books that can guide parents on creating schedules, setting goals, and tracking progress. And I especially like the ones that talk about maintaining home and day-to-day activities too, because this really is an entire lifestyle.
Oh, totally.
Sometimes the lines get blurred between education and maintaining a home too. We're teaching our kids so much more than just the curriculum.
Right.
I remember that funny meme I created and posted on social media a while back that shows a teenager doing dishes for extra credit for a biology exam.
Exactly. Also, some parents worry about socialization, extracurricular activities when they're trying to make a decision about homeschooling. A lot of homeschooling books will talk about like the different pros and cons of homeschooling versus traditional schooling, and they can really help ease your mind and offer you different ideas and insights into these different concerns.
Right. And reading books on homeschooling can really boost your confidence by providing a deeper understanding of the educational process and dispelling some of those myths and misconceptions. Just 2 weeks ago, we did an entire episode about helping you to feel more confident as a homeschooler, and hopefully that helped you. But continuing to read some of these books we're going to list out will also help to empower you.
Yeah, it's like continuing education.
Yeah, for sure.
And so many folks have turned to homeschooling because their children maybe had special needs or different abilities that were maybe not being met in a traditional school format. And so they'll benefit from homeschooling one-on-one. And there's a ton of books out there that can offer guidance on overcoming these challenges or working with some of these special needs specifically in your homeschool.
Some of these books are also going to provide insights into the long-term outcomes of homeschooling, including college admissions, career paths, and development of well-rounded kiddos. When my kids were younger, I read more about styles and methods and curriculum, and when they're older, I tended to read more about college and dual enrollment testing, teen issues and social things and things like that.
Yeah, we're always reading different things to go with the age that our kids are at the time. And homeschooling is a huge decision that affects a family's lifestyle and dynamics, and reading books can help parents make informed decisions by considering various factors and potential outcomes. This is one of the things I really encourage parents to do while deschooling. That's, again, that process when you've taken a kid out of a traditional school environment and you kind of have to unlearn all of that. Just spend that time reading. That's read. That's what's going to really help you move forward from there.
Yeah, that deschooling time is not just for the kids. The parents get a lot of value out of it too.
Absolutely.
And remember that while books are a valuable resource, they should be used alongside other resources of information like online forums or local homeschool groups. Those have been invaluable to me. And also a lot of educational websites and podcasts like maybe this one.
Like ours.
Each family's homeschooling journey is unique, so finding the right resources and support is essential to create a successful experience for you and your kids.
Yeah, let's get into our top 10.
Let's do it. Okay, so the first book is John Taylor Gatto, Dumbing Us Down. And this was probably one of the very first books that was recommended to me when I started to explore homeschooling. This book is such a thought-provoking critique of the modern educational system. Drawing from his experience as a long-term teacher in public schools, he argues that compulsory schooling does suppress individuality, creativity, and critical thinking. We talk about that in a lot of our episodes. I talked about our TED Talk, which is one of the most viewed TED Talks ever. I know you hate when I mention that.
You love your TED Talk.
Y'all, if you haven't watched that TED Talk from Sir Ken Robinson, you need to go see it. Nicole.
I know. Well, continuing Dumbing Us Down, the full title of the book is Dumbing Us Down, the Hidden Curriculum of Compulsory Schooling. He really delves into this hidden agenda of education, revealing how it's become more about social control and conformity rather than fostering true learning and personal growth. He challenges the traditional model of education, suggesting it stifles students' curiosity and their innate desire to explore the world. And he advocates for a more personalized and student-driven approach to education. And he really emphasizes the importance of self-directed learning and real-life experiences.
Yeah, and while some may find his ideas really radical, it's really an eye-opening read that can spark important conversations about the purpose and the effectiveness of our modern education system. It will make you question the status quo and consider alternative approaches that will empower students to become active, engaged, and critical thinkers. Isn't that what we all want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is an older book. It was published in 1992, but he was Teacher of the Year for like years, over and over and over again. And then I think he resigned on his last awards acceptance. It was kind of interesting. Moving into slots 2 and 3, same author, John Holt. He wrote 2 books. Well, he's written a lot of books, but the 2 that are often recommended are How Children Learn and Teach Your Own. I think Teach Your Own was one of the very first I read. John Holt's books they're timeless classics that have profoundly influenced the homeschooling movement. And when we say timeless, these were originally written in 1967 and 1981, but they're still surprisingly relevant.
Yeah, they really are. This was one of those that I read early on that made me think that I really was an unschooler. And as my kids got older, I realized that I really wasn't, but I still got so much out of this book. Holt talks about the natural ways that children absorb knowledge through curiosity, play, and self-discovery. We talk about that all the time. And he draws from his observations as an educator, and he advocates for a child-centered approach that respects the individual pace and the interests of each learner.
Right. In his book, Teach Your Own, Holt collaborates with a co-author, Patrick Ferenga, to provide practical guidance for parents considering homeschooling as an alternative to traditional school. They emphasize the importance of fostering a nurturing and supportive learning environment at home and encourage parents to trust their instincts in facilitating their child's education.
Yeah, and together these books present a powerful argument for respecting children as active participants in their own learning journeys, and it highlights the benefits of a more flexible, self-directed, and personalized education. And his insights and wisdom continue to inspire parents and educators alike, offering valuable perspectives on how children truly do learn and the potential rewards of embracing a more natural, child-led approach in education.
Yes. Our fourth book is called Better Late Than Early. The full title is Better Late Than Early, A New Approach to Your Child's Education by Raymond and Dorothy Moore. And this was actually required reading for parents joining a homeschool co-op and when I was living in North Carolina with young kids, for anybody who was joining that had kids that were younger than school age.
I didn't know they required any in any homeschool groups. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, because I don't know if you've read this one, but obviously it's advocating for starting formal education later.
Right. And you and I both are on board with that. And yeah, I do know this book, and it really does challenge conventional wisdom by advocating for that later start. They argue that children's natural development and readiness should dictate the timing of formal schooling, favoring that more relaxed and child-centered approach.
Yeah, and they present a lot of compelling research supporting their stance. They highlight potential negative consequences of early formal education on children's physical and emotional and intellectual well-being. And by emphasizing the significance of hands-on learning, which we always talk about, exploration and play during early childhood, the authors really give a refreshing perspective, I think, on children.
Yeah, and this book might not appeal to everyone, especially those who prioritize that academic rigor from an early age. This book offers so many insights into the potential benefits of allowing a child to mature naturally before introducing structured schooling. It really encourages parents to be attuned to their child's individual needs and their readiness, and it promotes that more holistic and balanced educational experience.
So just a reminder that this is a weekly episode. We drop one every Thursday morning just for you. And if you have any additional ideas or comments, please come and comment on our Facebook page, on the episode thread, or send us an email at info@btdthomeschool.com. We'd really love to hear from you. So our fifth book is The Brave Learner by Julie Bogart. If you've been listening for a while, you know we recommend this book a lot. It's a favorite. And the full title is Brave Learner, Finding Everyday Magic in Homeschool Learning and Life. And this book is an empowering and really heartfelt guide for homeschooling parents who are seeking to create a really enriching and joyful learning experience for their children. Julie Bogart has a really warm and encouraging tone. She shares her insights as a seasoned homeschool mom, and she's also founder of Brave Writer, which is a very popular homeschool writing program. Her book explores the concept of brave learning, where the emphasis is placed on cultivating a love of learning and fostering creativity and nurturing curiosity.
Yeah, she encourages parents to embrace a more relaxed and flexible approach, tailoring education to each child's unique strengths and interests. And throughout the book, she offers practical tips and engaging activities that parents can easily incorporate into their homeschooling routine. That's why a lot of people really love this book. There really is a lot you can apply every day.
Yes, I love it. She also really stresses that importance of family connection and making learning an integral part of everyday life. This book's not just about homeschooling. It's really about cultivating a family culture that values growth and celebrates each individual's learning journey. And it's a really compelling read, and it will inspire and support homeschooling families in creating a thriving and authentic educational experience for their children.
Yeah, I would say it's one of my favorites for sure. So if you only pick one, maybe this one might be it. Hopefully you read them all because they're all great books.
I could pick just one, but I do really, really like her book.
The number 6 on the list is Home Learning Year by Year, How to Design a Homeschool Curriculum from Preschool through High School by Rebecca Rupp. And it's an indispensable guide for homeschooling parents seeking to craft a comprehensive and flexible curriculum that's tailored to their child's needs.
Yeah, this book is also a favorite of mine that I've recommended for years. And I know she's updated it, and I have not read the update yet, but I need to.
Yeah,
it's on my list.
And the skills list, that skills checklist list that I put on our website for people to download, I actually based it. This was one of my resources that I used to create that list.
Yeah, so I'm eager to read some of the update, especially technology-wise, because it's an older book. I read it when my kids were really young. They were kind of a STEM family in general, so I feel like maybe that stuff has aged well. Anyway, Rupp's book offers just a well-organized and practical approach covering various age groups from preschool all the way to high school. And the book really provides valuable insights into just different age-appropriate learning activities, just different subject recommendations, and educational milestones for each grade level.
Yeah, she emphasizes the importance of nurturing a child's curiosity and interest while ensuring a solid foundation in those core subjects. The suggested resources, the reading list, and the project ideas really make it easy for parents to plan engaging and well rounded lessons.
And whether you're totally new to homeschooling or you're already an experienced homeschooler, this book serves as just a fabulous resource. This is one of the ones that I used to reread a lot. It empowers parents to confidently navigate their child's education and, of course, fostering that love of learning that extends beyond the classroom.
Yeah, a lot of people actually like to build their own lessons just using this book because there's a lot of concepts you can teach in so many ways. You don't necessarily have to buy curriculum. So
exactly.
She gives lots of great ideas to making those concepts stick.
Yeah.
Number 7 on the list is a literary education. And I feel like we really can't talk about Emily's book without starting out by talking about Charlotte Mason books. So Charlotte Mason's original book series, the Charlotte Mason Educational Series, it's a wealth of timeless wisdom and insights into a holistic, child-centered approach to education. And it consists of 6 volumes, and this series lays out Mason's educational philosophy and methodology in a comprehensive and accessible manner.
Right. Charlotte Mason's ideas revolved around really respecting a child's personhood and fostering a love of learning and presenting this wide range of living ideas and living books that capture a child's imagination. She really emphasized that importance of short lessons and outdoor exploration and cultivating good habits. And she advocated for a rich and diverse curriculum that would include literature and the arts and nature study and just practical life skills and good habits.
Her approach places a high value on narration as a means of encouraging children to absorb and assimilate knowledge actively. The series beautifully intertwines philosophy and practical advice, making it a valuable resource not only for homeschooling parents, but also for educators seeking to create a more nourishing and meaningful learning experience for their students.
Yeah, and these books are really old. Like really old. 1886, I think, the original series was published. But they have really stood the test of time and continue to inspire and shape progressive educational practices that honor the unique potential of every child's mind and spirit. We actually had a Charlotte Mason school down the street from me that was based on her, a charter school in Georgia that was based on her books because people did make schools from her stuff.
Now, some people really do struggle with the old books, and there are a lot of adaptations of her ideas. As a homeschooling parent or educator seeking to cultivate a love for literature and deeper understanding of classical works, a literary education adapting Charlotte Mason for modern secular homeschooling by Emily Cook is a valuable and insightful resource that I've loved.
Yes. Drawing inspiration from her educational philosophy of Charlotte Mason, Emily Cook presents a secular adaptation that resonates with a wide range of homeschooling families. The book offers practical guidance on how to incorporate living books, narration, and all those other Charlotte Mason-inspired methods, but into a modern homeschool curriculum. And she really navigates all the complexities of literary analysis and provides practical strategies for fostering critical thinking and meaningful discussions around classic literature. And she also includes a lot of modern literature as well.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when they think of Charlotte Mason, they do think of a religious-based curriculum, but it has been modernized by people like Emily Cook.
Yeah.
And it's super attainable and usable for people that don't subscribe to that and are more secular homeschoolers.
Yeah.
The emphasis on cultivating a living relationship with books and allowing children to form their own connections to the stories they read is a refreshing and engaging approach. It serves as an excellent companion for both novice and experienced homeschoolers, and it offers a wealth of ideas and tools to create a rich, literary-focused learning environment. We talk all the time about nurturing a lifelong love for reading and learning, and that's all stemming from this philosophy.
Yeah, and we didn't mention, but she's also the creator of Build Your Library curriculum. So if that's a curriculum that you're using or considering, you absolutely must read this book first.
Right.
I feel like it explains a lot of the answers to questions people often have about it.
And after you finish listening to this episode, be sure to visit our website. We're going to write up all of the show notes and have links to everything that we're talking about, so it's just really easy for you to access and reference. Every week, I like to create free resources that complement that episode, so be sure to sign up to our newsletter so you don't miss any of that exclusive content. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, we would love it if you went out there and gave us a thumbs up or even comment on the episode thread.
Book number 8 is The Well-Trained Mind, and this is also a book that I read pretty early on in my journey. The Well-Trained Mind, A Guide to Classical Education at Home, is an essential resource for homeschooling parents seeking to implement a classical education approach. It's written by Susan Wise Bauer and Jesse Wise, and this book offers a well-structured and comprehensive guide providing clear steps and practical advice on designing a rigorous and balanced curriculum at home.
The authors emphasize the importance of a classical education's 3 stages. That's the grammar stage, the logic stage, and the rhetoric stages. And they explain how to tailor the learning process to suit the child's developmental needs. And the well-trained mind not only introduces parents to the classical model, but also offers a wide range of subject recommendations, teaching techniques, and educational resources.
Right. And while the classical approach might not resonate with every homeschooling family, the book still is a really valuable reference for those interested in like a time-tested and intellectually stimulating educational philosophy. It's got a lot of detailed guidance, thoughtful insights. It's really just a great book all around for homeschooling parents to read. I also just happen to love Susan Wise Bauer. I follow her on Facebook and she posts a lot and I feel like she's somebody that I would be friends with. And she often gets the short end of the stick. Secular homeschoolers often don't think she's secular enough, and Christian homeschoolers think she's too secular. So I always invite people to check her and their products out and decide for yourselves.
Yeah, she really does walk that line. And yeah, I've seen Facebook fights. Is she secular? Is she not secular?
I know, and it's funny because, well, and then if you follow her, she's funny because she'll post those same ones and she'll be like, okay, hello, you guys, like, I'm actually the author, like, I could weigh in on this for you if you want. It's really funny.
Okay, moving on to book number 9, Free to Learn, Why Unleashing the Instinct to Play Will Make Our Children Happier, More Self-Reliant, and Better Students for Life by Peter Gray. And it's a really compelling and thought-provoking exploration of the innate drive for play and its profound impact on children's learning and development.
And Gray is a prominent psychologist, and he challenges the traditional education system and argues that children learn best when given the freedom to explore, play, and pursue their own interests. Drawing from extensive research and real-life examples, Gray makes a really convincing case for the importance of unstructured, self-directed play and cultivating creativity. And we talk about this a lot. It's also, handy with problem-solving skills and emotional intelligence.
He examines the detrimental effects of overly structured schooling, and it emphasizes the role of play in fostering that resilient, the self-reliant, and motivated kids. This book offers a fresh perspective on education, and it really urges parents and educators to embrace a more natural and a child-centered approach. I see a theme here.
Exactly, right?
And it allows children to thrive and flourish as curious and engaged learners. This is what we want for our kids. We want them beyond school. Once we graduate them, we want them to continue learning like we do. We love that. That's how we are as humans.
Lifelong learning. Book number 10 is also a book that you've heard us mention before. It's called A Place to Belong. It's by Amber O'Neill Johnston. She is a homeschooling mother of 4 and shows parents of all backgrounds how to create a home environment where children feel secure in their own personhood and culture, enabling them to better understand and appreciate people who are racially and culturally different. A Place to Belong gives parents tools to empower children to embrace their unique identities while feeling beautifully tethered to their global community.
Yeah, this book is a guide for families of all backgrounds to celebrate cultural heritage and embrace inclusivity in the home and in our communities. Social conscious parents today are looking for a way to authentically embrace the fullness of their diverse communities, and this book really does do that.
Yeah, A Place to Belong offers a path forward for families to honor their cultural heritage and champion diversity in the context of daily family life by fostering open dialogue around discrimination, race, gender, disability, and class, teaching hard history in an age-appropriate way, curating a diverse selection of books and media choices in which people see themselves and people who are different, celebrating cultural heritage through art, music, and poetry, and modeling activism and engaging in community service projects as a family.
Yeah, there's a lot there to unpack because, there's not really any book like that out there. And this is what we want to teach our children about, this world is very diverse and we want our children to live in it and thrive.
Absolutely.
So they need to know about it. So obviously it's really hard to narrow down books to just one list of 10 because there are so many more great books out there. So we're going to list a few additional favorites here. So those were our top 10. So some additional favorites. The first one being Simplicity Parenting, Using the Extraordinary Powers of Less to Raise Calmer, Happier, and More Secure Kids by Kim John Payne and Lisa M. Ross. Also, The Call of the Wild and Free, Reclaiming Wonder of Your Child's Education by Ainsley Arment.
A Charlotte Mason Companion, Personal Reflections on the Gentle Art of Learning by Karen Andriola. This is actually a favorite of mine, but it's not quite secular, so that's why it did not make it in the top 10. It is easy to kind of skip over. It's a very specific Bible chapter. Also, The Montessori Method by Maria Montessori.
There's also The Unschooling Handbook, How to Use the Whole World as Your Child's Classroom by Mary Griffith, and The Well-Adjusted Child, The Social Benefits of Homeschooling by Rachel Gathcole.
For the Children's Sake, Foundations for Education for Home and School by Susan Schaefer Macaulay. The Teenage Liberation Handbook, How to Quit School and Get a Real Life in Education by Grace Llewellyn. And Project-Based Homeschooling, Mentoring Self-Directed Learners by Lori McWillem Pickert.
And don't worry about writing all of this down. We will have it. I'm actually creating this really awesome freebie that allows you to check all these books and reflect upon them. And it's going to be a really cool workbook for you as you continue on your homeschooling journey. And as always, we would love to hear from you. If you have any additions to this list or comments and feedback about any of these books, we want to hear it. So
yeah, we always love to hear from you. So tune in next week for episode 44, The Hidden Agenda in Homeschool Groups and Organizations. I know. This might be a controversial one.
This is going to be controversial. HSLDA is going to come after us.
We're going to be talking about, do I need to join HSLDA? What does religious, secular, and inclusive really mean? And how do I find out if a group is right for my family?
Yeah, there's been a lot of infiltration of spammers and people taking advantage of a lot of new homeschoolers in a lot of these groups. And it feels like it's undoing all of this great work and all this great things that are happening with BTDT Homeschool Podcast. This is a labor of love, and we're here to help people. And when I see some things becoming undone, it just enrages me because I can see it. I see people being taken advantage of. So we're going to
expose some of these. This is going to be a hard-hitting expose episode.
We're getting a few hate emails right now, so maybe that'll bump up.
Dun, dun, dun.
So if you have anything good to say, please review us. And also, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email because counteract all that negativity.
Yeah, we're trying to be a positive space for all of us.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Be sure to check us out on our website at btdthomeschool.com, as in been there, done that, btdthomeschool.com. You can join our mailing list and get news and updates on future podcasts, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at the BTDT Been There, Done That Homeschool Podcast.